ready for 133. A couple of Pennsylvania boys. Ethan Lizak, the two-time All-American and finalist, number 8 ranked in the Flow rankings versus number 10, Austin DeSanto from Exeter, Pennsylvania. Their hometowns are only less than 50 miles apart in the state of Pennsylvania. DeSanto, the young gun. Ethan Lizak, the red shirt senior. Big matchup, like we said. These matchups for rankings and seeds. Big, Jim.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is one of the matches I was looking forward to. Saw Ethan Lizak, 2 years ago, be an NCAA finalist and just an expert in the top position. If he gets on top of you, boy, he can really roll it up. And then, comes into the last season and ends up, working his way up. A little bit tougher when everybody knows that what you're doing and they don't choose the down position, so you got to go out there and manufacture points, and he's been able to do that. He's got a nice little low single to that lead leg of DeSanto. We all know about DeSanto. He's got that left-handed near arm far leg, right? That is really his bread and butter, that he can really just crunch guys and take guys to their backs, and really wrestles a high pace. There's a nice little fireman's carry there.
Yeah, they call DeSanto the backpack because he does have a high pace, and now he does not get back points, gets 2, no back points. The takedown, early takedown for DeSanto, that's certainly what he wanted to do, because we talked about Lizak loving to be on top.
Well, what that will do is it maybe DeSanto will not have to go down, depending on what the rest of this period goes like. But, you get a lead going into the third period. DeSanto doesn't have to go down. And Lizak will likely choose the top position.
Yeah, and he's the backpack.
Yeah.
He's the guy that we saw get on top of Gilman a couple of years ago, go out front 8-0, and then Gilman came all the way back for the pin. What an incredible match that was.
That was a lot of fun to bring to everybody there. So I don't know how committed DeSanto is to this ride, but that's pretty good. You can see that the Iowa bench is excited about those bat returns. I know that riding that he did in the beginning is adding up.
And that's right where he is there. DeSanto keeping his foot in, staying in bounds.
Yeah, excellent first period here so far for DeSanto with the takedown. And, you've heard me say this before, Tim, but you ride riders. It just gives you options. And sometimes it can be a little bit easier. Got longer, lankier guys that if you can stretch them out. Usually don't like to go legs with them, but this is the type of riding that you do against somebody who's good with the legs.
Well, the one thing you're doing is you're keeping him from being on top.
Yeah.
And so there's the escape by Lizak. 1 minute left in the first period.
Look at the pressure, though, that DeSanto immediately goes into. He's crowding his tie. He's taking the territory that he wants. Lizak gets to a leg. He's pretty good at finishing here, particularly below the knee. All right. Nice little scramble situation. Is DeSanto able to control that right arm of Lizak? Lizak gets it. And that's got to be... Whoa! Wow. Just being relentless right there on that turning around. You got to watch this. This is taking the wrist off the back a little bit.
Now, we've seen a couple of wow things go on today, and DeSanto just showed one there with excellent execution, fending off what looked like dead in the water. 2 for Lizak, coming around for 2.
Yeah, 2 for Lizak, and maybe even ride out in the period. Instead, it's 4-1, and DeSanto's going to have 1:45 of riding time.
4-1, DeSanto leads. Let's go to Shane, who's with the NCAA champion, Spencer Lee.
Spencer, tough, gritty victory against Russell. He was a really good guy. How excited were you to get back out here from the Midlands, get back on track?
Yeah, I was just, I was really focusing on my training, believing in my coaches. I got to believe in myself more and the way I can wrestle. And I feel like I haven't shown that yet. And I'm still getting ready to, do what I can, what I do best, and that's wrestle and have fun out there.
You showed some grit and toughness. What does toughness mean to you?
Well, toughness is everything. That's why I love the sport. People don't know what you're going through, and everyone has something that they're fighting through. And this sport, it just makes you go up to as high as you can and as tough as you got to be as good in this sport. Toughness is, one of the main aspects of the sport. Mental toughness, all of it. And this sport is a great example of that.
Always appreciate the time. Thanks, Spencer.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Shane. And, you know, our sport needs great spokesmen, and I believe that we have one in there in Spencer Lee.
This young man, with being a part of this program, he's already turned a lot of heads as far as his maturity goes. Last year's run through the NCAA tournament, not only what he did on the mat, but every interview afterwards, and you saw it again right there. That wasn't the performance that he probably would like to have, but he's absolutely right. Is that, you know, people need to understand this, is that probably 25% of the time that you go out there, maybe less, at least old-timers would probably say maybe a little bit less, but you don't feel good out there. You're miserable, right? You're working through something. He's absolutely correct, and it could be working through something because he's training exceptionally hard right now, you know, for a further game, you know, a couple months from now. So it's you take these, you know, these dual meets because you want to entertain and you want to go out there and do what you can to promote your program and everything, but you're training through things. And sometimes you go out there, you're not feeling the best. Lizak getting a little bit of this match back, choosing the top position.
Making DeSanto not feel the best. Great story with DeSanto and Lee. DeSanto giving Lee his only loss in high school, keeping him from being a 4-time state champion in Pennsylvania, and then joining him a transfer from Drexel, where he was not an All-American, but a round of 12 guy last year, and transferred in, and they make a pretty good 1-2 punch.
They do, yep. I think everybody, you know, follows this Iowa program and real pleased with the way that they just like that pace that DeSanto represents out there, and that's been helpful for him, particularly in that huge scramble that he won. I mean, he looked like, again, he was, yeah. Take a look at the scramble we're going to see where it looked like Lizak had it all the way, got to the leg, right? Really good finishing here. He comes out the back door, puts his head up underneath there. Now he's looking to collect the other leg with the right hand, and Lizak, DeSanto senses that. See how he ties it up? Not quite there. He gets to it, and right here he just keeps moving and cutting the corner, and he wins. That's 99% there.
Just had a little peek in that scramble of Spencer Lee on the corner of the mat, cheering his teammate on. So, and really neat thing going on right now. Lizak trailing 4-1.
So did I miss something here? Did DeSanto take down? Yeah, it looks like he...
And coming around, trying to get the reversal, but so far Lizak trying to get that stalemate situation. Yeah. Oh, there's 2 points. Wow.
So what the wow is this, is that I just assumed that Lizak took the top position in the second period, but at some point in time, DeSanto went down, and you normally don't do that, all right, against that leg rider. We saw how it worked for Gilman, you mentioned a couple of years ago. I mean, that's Lizak's favorite position, and this is a huge thing.
A little more about Lizak from Shane.
Well, Tim, Lizak will not miss this rivalry in wrestling against that black singlet. When you look at this border battle, as a true freshman, he was tech-falled by Thomas Gilman. Of course, a couple years ago, it was up 8-0 before Gilman roared back and pinned him. And last year, he got tech by Spencer Lee. So this Iowa rivalry is one that Lizak would much rather move on from.
Well, we saw, Shane, that's a great point. But we saw, Shane, that the Iowa coaching staff, the two Brands brothers, had a great shot of them. They are into the fact that they chose the down position against Lizak and got a reversal there. That is like a meat takeaway, you know, for the whole program.
And I'll tell you, Shane, that was a good point, because I'll tell you, you never count Lizak out because he loves when the lights are on. Starts in the Big Tens, but it is absolutely at the NCAAs. He's a different wrestler.
He's wrestled 2 great NCAA tournaments despite the record against Iowa. Great NCAA tournaments.
Great match by DeSanto here. Gonna switch around on the rankings, I'm sure, with the Flow rankings. And so unsportsmanlike. We're gonna hear 1 point deducted from the Iowa team 17-8.